Yo,
Jamie, what's up?
what's up, fellas?
Not much. How are you?
Oh man, I was good until you stole my topic right before you went to calls, bro.
Oh no. What I steal? Which one?
Apophis, man. I thought I was gonna drop
Ooh.
some hot
Let's do it. Well,
press
tell
with
us. Tell us.
with
What do you
Apophis.
tell us about it?
Apophis. Yeah, you brought up Apophis, which is coming back around in like 2029.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought it up, so I knew you knew about it, but
Well, you can expound
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
well, ultimately, it's supposed to come in like what, on May the 13th. You could Google it right there, Brandon. If you're looking, May 13th, 2029.
Yeah.
NASA originally said it was going to hit, and they were like, wait a minute. It's not going to hit, but it's going to be really, really close within like 19,000 miles or something like that.
Yeah, and why do we name these things?
Well, because they're demonic.
Right. I agree.
I mean,
Because
is it
the
really
people that
shocking?
Name things are just like they love.
We name
they
tropical
the demonic.
storms.
Yeah.
We name natural disasters. I'm surprised they don't
Yep.
name earthquakes yet.
They will.
Yeah.
They
They
will.
will. Yeah.
They will.
They'll
You know,
call. They'll call the one that's coming. The one just hit 8.7. I think they changed it to like it's 8.7.
Yeah.
Originally 8.08, and then now they got tsunamis hitting the coast of Russia. Supposed to be hitting Alaska, possibly
Hawaii. Yep.
Hawaii. So
Terrible.
I mean,
They better
You
give
know,
it at
well-
least like a fitting name. Like it's don't name it something nice. Like call it like
Yeah.
defamed earthquake, big belligerent jagoff mentioned again. You know, like,
Disgraced earthquake. Yeah.
yeah, disgraced
Like-
earthquake.
Disgraced earthquake too.
yeah, it's like like when you pull one, we're trying to hit a good golf shot. You just kind of shank it.
Yeah,
because
it's-
that's what they're really they're just taking each thing, anything like you were saying, man. You're right on it. You so calmly just kind of bring and you just lay this method across the table as to what they're pushing, like you said about the moon. Just because you don't believe the narrative doesn't mean you don't believe, the actual the case
Right.
that the narrative surrounds.
Yeah.
So-
Every official story is never the full story. When it
no,
comes
it's
to
only
these
one
people.
half of two sides that neither.
Yeah. Half if you're lucky.
Two halves of- right. Yeah, if you're lucky, exactly. So,
Was that Apophis, Brandon?
Yeah, this is the predicted trajectory of
Mhm.
99942 Apophis.
And I believe they named the NASA thing also after Apophis, but Apophis has a few names.
Well, yeah. If you look in the book of Revelation, it describes at a certain point where a mountain comes out of and falls into the sea, right?
Yep.
And this is leads to what called wormwood. It just corrupts all the waters. Pretty much a third of the waters on the earth, and a lot of people perish from the contamination of it.
Yep.
And it kind of, all these things really fit. Like if you were talking about the moon dust causing the asteroid, whatever. Like if you look again in Revelation, we see where like these 100 talent like hailstones
Mm-hmm.
fall from heaven.
Right.
So could so we're like, well, what could all these things be? In my opinion, it's kind of getting to, what do they call it? I don't know, when something just becomes so normalized that it's
Like like being desensitized.
right. Well, yes, it's just the time it becomes it. I'm sorry, man. I just lost my word there.
Oh, it's
But
okay.
basically, it loses its meaning.
Yeah.
When you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's on purpose. I think a lot of these bad actors, so I think, there's a lot of them all over the place. They try to strip away the real meaning and then replace it with their own. And look, here's a good example. I pulled it up. So I was talking about, you're talking about Apophis, we were talking about Apophis, and I was talking about the NASA project. And Apophis has another name, APEP. So NASA's project last year, April 8th, 2024, was the APEP project. APEP, of course, it's just an acronym for atmospheric perturbations. I can't talk tonight. Around the eclipse path. Mission is launching sounding rockets during the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024, to study the effects of the eclipse on Earth's ionosphere. The rockets will be launched from Wallops Island, of course, something that's going to wallop from Wallops Island,
Wallop.
Virginia. So APEP, for those who don't know, in ancient Egyptian mythology, Apep,
Yep.
also known as Apophis, so I was wrong. It's not Greek or Roman, it's Egyptian. My bad. Was a serpent-like deity who embodied chaos and darkness. He was the. Isn't that crazy?
You're on it. But see, and you said it wasn't necessary. It went back to Egypt, but then it moves to Greek. And when you look in Revelation, the one who holds the keys to the bottomless pit, his name is Apollyon or Abaddon.
Right.
Right. So this is a chaotic individual, one who controls chaos. Right. So it goes. It's the same entity. Right. They're all the same entities. They just change names.
It's always about rebranding. You know,
Yeah,
a good example.
You got it right.
A good example is just how the Greek gods were rebranded into the Roman gods, and then what we did with the Roman gods with the planets. The only planet I believe not named after a god is this planet. Interesting.
Right? It's the one named by God. God named
there you go.
Earth.
There you go. I mean, this stuff's interesting to me. Some people just write it off, but I find it fascinating. I think this stuff is very important to these people and why they choose these names. And we've inherited a world of chaos. It's always been a world of chaos.
Yeah. No. Well, you're in the zone of understanding that the chaos that we perceive, most of it is basically caused by us. Everything they're doing to save the world is actually basically destroying. Right. So let's dim the sun. Well, basically, you look again in Revelation, it says that the sun was held back, that a third part of the sun did not show, and a third part of the moon. Right.
Yep.
How much of this is that that's just basically God foresaw that every good opportunity that humans got their hands on, they turned it into a weapon of destruction.
Babel, Tower of Babel. You know, people can't help but manufacture their own doomsdays. So, the people who believe in the Bible, we know that, there's end times. Other people have different ideas on end times, but whatever it is, your attitude towards the doomsday, obviously people can't help but manufacture it. And a lot of this stuff seems like their own dark rituals, fear rituals to bring about our own destruction. And like you said, everything we do, they say it's to save Earth, but it's all destruction. Like, great example, what you just said, the dimming of the sun. There was an article recently, just the other day, I think it was this weekend, where there was a company saying, okay, we did try dimming the sun, but we didn't tell anybody because we didn't want hysteria. So they do it. We know Bill Gates has been trying to do it. And I know there was an article earlier this year, they were trying it in San Francisco with, I believe it was our Navy, using some ships off the coast to spray this dust into the air and test out this, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, there's this idea of dimming the sun by throwing lots of dust into the air. And their idea is it's going to reflect sunlight back up into the atmosphere because they believe doing that will help turn back climate chanch. So sounds like a great idea.
And also kill most of the crops on the planet.
Yes. I mean, look, a great example, real quick, is like the Cultural Revolution. I was talking about this on IRL yesterday, but one of my favorite examples of it is the 4 Pests campaign that Mao had, and he thought this would help fix China. So outside of all the violence, all the color guard, all the death, the beheadings, the tearing down of statues, the killing of the art and the language, he said we got to kill these 4 pests. And one of them was the sparrow, because he believed the sparrow was a symbol of America or capitalism. Little children are out there destroying these sparrows left and right. It was a genocide of sparrows. They didn't realize that killing the sparrow would then allow the whatever bug it was in the crops to flourish, because the sparrows ate that. And so the crops were then destroyed by the bugs, and that's what helped lead to the famine, people starving to death outside the silos with whatever they had grain from the crops. I mean, and that's just a tiny aspect of what happened there. And that's the Great Leap Forward, right? Huge famine. And we don't even know how many millions of people died in that. But, that whole idea was we're going to save China. We're going to make things better. It doesn't work.
They spent all their money there. That's all they did.
Yep.
That's there and underground. You've seen the lady that's talked about the 21 trillion that's basically gone to build underneath us, like where all the infrastructure money that should be being spent here, that where we would look like Dubai or China, Hong Kong, any of that, that's all been squandered, and they've built for themselves because they know this is coming. See, we've talked about stuff that men are doing to destroy the earth, but if one of these things that have come from outside of our solar system, this is like only for our time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the dinosaurs got theirs, right? This is our turn for heaven to bring, because if time does not run out, none of us are going to survive, dude. I'm trying to tell you, Yuval Noah Harari said by 2040, there's not going to be any humans left.
Yeah, those people hate humans. I mean, they literally hate humans. He talks about the useless eaters who they will just drug, basically with video games and drugs and the metaverse, and they will not participate in the world that has been co-opted by robots, Neuralinks, drones, all that stuff. So that is their vision. I mean, I do have hope, lots of hope. And also when it comes to the climate disaster activists, it should be hopeful to people that, they tell you the oceans are going to rise, they're going to destroy everything. And it's hard to talk about because right now there is a serious tsunami threat happening out there in Russia, Hawaii, Alaska, and I'm praying for those people. But, tsunamis, that happens. The climate activists who are telling you that the oceans are going to rise and destroy Earth through that is BS. And the hope is that, it doesn't, despite that, it doesn't stop the Obamas and other elites from buying that oceanfront property and living there happily with their Netflix money. So,
because they know they're lying, and they know that we know they're lying, and they continue to lie because they know we can't do anything about their lying.
Yep.
We have been brought to this place where, like, literally, bro, ask yourself. I mean, I asked them, like, okay, I'm looking at today. I just simply thought about buying a house, right? I'm 50 years old.
Awesome.
I still haven't bought a house, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
They want to wrap my mind around what it's going to take to buy a home.
Yep. It's horrible.
How long can that continue?
Dude,
how
it's
long
so
can the people listening to your show know that, hey, man, eventually we're going to hit a list just because we listen to this show?
Yeah. I mean, the people who listen to the show and who message me, and like, I think it gives me hope despite all the dark stuff we talk about. I think people are plugged in to how bad it is. And, I do think we still can change it. I was trying to look for this article. I've lost it, but I had a friend who was in Providence, Rhode Island, who just had to move because his rent went up 40% in a year. Like, they're pricing people, and this is like, that was his home. Like, he lived there forever, and now he's got to leave with his family because they've been priced out for many reasons. This is why I left New York. I mean, I got this job opportunity here,
Chicago.
But this is our home. This is our home states. I love it, despite all the problems with New York. I'm sure
my state property taxes last year doubled. That's why
come to North Carolina.
Got the hell out of there.
Come to North Carolina, ain't a whole lot better. But I'm gonna tell you, there's kind enough people. The man that we rent from, we've rented from for 6 years. He looked at me, older man. I'm not going to raise your rent. Praise God, by the grace of God. Because
that's awesome.
6 years ago today, if I had to rent today what we rent at from 6 years ago, I mean, it's double plus.
Yeah, dude, it's evil. I mean, and then the way, but like it's impossible to live. I mean, we're living, we're making it happen, but like you go out to the grocery store, you go to get gas, everything is just astronomical. Like, I don't think they want you outside,
and they don't want you thinking
terrible.
about that.
Yep. What was that?
I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. They don't want you thinking about what we're talking. They want us talking about. Well, look up. It's ironic they make movies about don't look up, but now they're like, don't look down. Don't look around you. Don't look at your neighbor. Don't look at your pockets. Look up. There's an asteroid coming. It's going to hit the moon and blow it into pieces. Look up. There's some spacecraft coming from. They're constantly trying to take fear and put it in our face because in that we can't. What is it? It destroys our reason. It destroys our logic. We're going to fight, flight, or freeze.
Yep. I love the quote. I don't know who said it first, but I'll give it to. I heard it first from Candace Owens, but she said, "If they know what you fear, they can control you." And she said that, I think that was during lockdowns. And I always think of that quote because it's so true. You know, the second they know what you fear, they can just keep injecting that into your face, and they will rule you. And we all noticed it during lockdowns. What was that?
I said death is the big one for most people.
Yeah,
you know?
right. That's why lockdowns were so effective for
That's
many.
right. That's why COVID, all that jazz worked. But see, Jesus came to take the fear of death away from people.
Yep.
Right. So once you've come to the knowledge of Christ, it's like poof, you're all of a sudden you're like, heck yeah, I can't wait to die. Right. I'm not gonna rush it. I'm not gonna do it on purpose. Right. But I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore. Like little Kevin Home Alone. I'm not afraid anymore. You hear me?
Yes,
but then something happens and we run back and we jump under our blanket and we are scared. We're still scared, but we're not afraid.
Yep.
You know, and that's what they're afraid of.
Well, that's why they have a war against religion, because they know it's a shield for people, and a righteous shield to guard you from the fear that these bad actors are trying to use to manipulate you, to own you, and that's, you know, unfortunately, it's taken over a good portion of the world.
And thankfully for guys like you and Brandon, you're opening up a platform that where people can come in and say, hey, you know, I'm not afraid to associate with those that no one wants to associate with, right?
That's right.
It's that thing everybody knows, but nobody likes talking about. You know, so everybody else, I'm gonna get off, but you know, you guys just keep doing what you're doing, slugging away at the truth, encouraging everybody. I know sometimes I'm probably more black-pilled than I'd like.
You can't be black-pilled if you have Christ. That's what I keep saying.
I mean, as far as the carnal world goes, yeah. The only light that I have, the only thing that takes that black and moves it towards the red is the blood of Jesus that gives me hope.
Right.
You know, that he took my black heart and made it white as snow. You know, and that's hope. But not in this world, not like the world hopes, because, you know, I want my finances to turn around, and I hope they do, is not the same hope I have as looking into the eyes that made me forever, you know.
Yep,
it's
absolutely.
A different kind of hope. So.
Yeah, because we're all, you know, despite the hope we have through faith, we're still dealing with our day-to-day routines of, you know, all of our suffering, however relative it is, and it's brutal out there. But man, it's always good to talk. I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Jamie.
Have a good night.